This expectant couple couldn't believe what their ultrasound revealed. Becoming parents is one of the most exciting and nerve-wracking times in a couple's life, especially when things don't happen as planned. Nia and Robert Tolbert already had 3 children, so they thought they knew what to expect with this pregnancy. As it turned out, they couldn't have dreamed about what their ultrasound would reveal. Listen on to see why this couple beat the odds and stumped the experts, resulting in a family they didn't expect to have but couldn't be happier about. Dating can be an arduous process, which is why it can be helpful when friends get involved. For Nia and Robert, it was mutual friends that led to their meeting. Rather than hoping that a stranger would be the one, they lucked out by hitting it off as friends. The pair met back in 2007, and it wasn't long before everyone could tell that the happy couple would be in it for the long haul. Sure enough, they only grew stronger in their love as the years passed. A few years into dating, Nia and Robert discovered some news that would change their lives forever. They were expecting their first child. The joyous couple couldn't wait to meet their precious baby. The little one would be the perfect addition to the loving duo. An ultrasound relieved that their first baby would be a boy. They couldn't wait to meet the little guy. In September 2011, Nia gave birth to a healthy son named Shai. Nia and Robert were overjoyed to welcome their darling son into the world. At the same time, they didn't want to rush into marriage. The first order of business was to make sure that they were the best parents they could be. When Shai was 3, Nia and Robert decided it was time to tie the knot. The proud couple was officially a family unit, complete with their little boy. It wasn't long before they received even more exciting news. Before the wedding, Nia discovered more incredible news that she was pregnant again. The couple couldn't believe all of the exciting things that were happening. The newlyweds would already be parents of 2. They couldn't wait to find out if the baby would be a boy or a girl. Since they'd already been through pregnancy once before, they thought they knew what to expect. As soon as they saw the ultrasound, they realized they were wrong. Nia and John were shocked and delighted to find out that they wouldn't be having 1 baby but 2. Furthermore, both children were boys, meaning they would have a total of 3 sons. Yet another surprise happened when Nia went into labor early. In 2015, she gave birth to identical twins 33 weeks into her pregnancy. The premature newborns had to spend 2 weeks in the NICU before coming home, but they were healthy and happy as can be. The couple named their twins Riley and Alexander. Though they were born 7 weeks early, you would never guess that based on how healthy and adorable they looked. Plus, twins are more likely to be born early, so their circumstances weren't that unusual. Nia and Robert were now the parents of 3 and married. They thought their family was complete and life couldn't be better. Once again, they were proven wrong when another surprise came their way. Many parents will tell you that going from 1 child to 2 is quite a big leap. After all, everything doubles. To go from 1 child to 3 is an even bigger jump. All of a sudden, both parents had their arms more than full. They had plenty on their plates to last a while and watched in awe as their 3 boys grew. Shai was headed into school and the twins weren't far behind him. After a few years of married life with their 3 precious boys, Nia and Robert discovered that they were once again pregnant. The family of 5 was about to get even larger. Though it wasn't planned, they were very excited. Being that the couple already had 3 sons, they couldn't help but let their mind wander to thoughts of a little girl. The pair grew eager for their first appointment with the doctor, but they had no idea what they were in for. Shai, Riley, and Alexander were growing so fast, but Nia could still remember carrying them like it was yesterday. She knew that something was different about this pregnancy than the last 2. She felt more emotional than ever, and her body was changing more rapidly than before. Nia was taking care of herself by eating right, doing yoga, and taking vitamins. She started to worry that something might be wrong, but had no idea what it would be. Nia went in for an ultrasound, this time on her own. She was nervous and anxious to see what might be the cause behind her strange experience with this pregnancy. As soon as she saw the curious look on the doctor's face, she knew something was off. The technician asked if multiples run in her or Robert's family. It was at that point that Nia figured she might be having twins again. Still, that didn't explain the eerie feeling she had. After Nia confirmed that multiples run in the family because she and her husband already have a pair of twins, the technician double-checked things. She did a whole new ultrasound just to be sure. At first, it seemed Nia was going to have twins, but after closer inspection, the doctor realized that Nia was pregnant with 3 babies. This explained her intense symptoms and why she felt that this experience was so different compared to the first 2. According to the CDC, data from 2016 showed a 1 in 1,000 chance of having triplets. For twins, this number increased to 33 in 1,000. That means that Nia beat the odds not just for twins or triplets, but for both. What's even rarer is having triplets directly after having twins. While you might expect to see that with fertility treatments, it's incredibly rare that it should happen with natural conception. Nia and her doctor were both shocked. Since Nia had made the incredible discovery on her own, it was up to her to break the news to Robert. She'd planned a weekend trip without him, so she figured she could do something special before leaving. Since it was such big news, Nia's absence would allow Robert to process how big their family was about to grow on his own. She decided to leave him a present that would reveal what was happening. Nia decided to leave Robert the sonogram with a small note. All she wrote was a request to accept this gift from her and God. Being that Robert had been with her at previous ultrasound appointments, she figured he would know what to look for. Plus, Robert had seen a sonogram of one child in their first pregnancy and twins in their second. He would know the difference between multiples and be able to count how many there were this time. Robert opened up the present to find 3 sonograms, revealing that they would be having triplets. The news was so overwhelming that he fainted. Nia was right about him needing some time to process. After all, the number of children they have was about to double, going from 3 to 6. Though it would be a hefty challenge, it was also an immense blessing. The couple would be proud parents to half a dozen children as a result of only 3 pregnancies. Once Robert had recovered from his initial shock, he called Nia. The couple decided that though they didn't plan for this, they would be up to the challenge. They began making arrangements and talking about how to best prepare for the triplets. They'd need to find the space for 3 cribs and ensure that they had all the toys, clothes, diapers, accessories, etc. that they might need. Fortunately, Nia and Robert already had some of the needed supplies from their first 3 children. Since Nia and Robert already had 3 boys, they couldn't help but wonder if at least one of the triplets was a girl. Depending on if they were all identical or fraternal, it was possible that Nia could be carrying boys and/or girls. Rather than having the doctor tell them the news right away, they decided to do a gender reveal party. The doctor would tell a trusted companion and the parents would remain left in the dark until the big reveal. Nia and Robert threw a gender reveal party with all of their closest friends and family. The person who knew the genders filled 3 balloons with either pink or blue confetti, which would indicate if each baby was a boy or a girl. Nia popped the balloons and pink confetti went flying out of each one, fluttering all around her and Robert. The couple smiled from ear to ear as they realized they would be having 3 girls. Shy, Alexander, and Riley needed some time to warm up to the idea of 3 little sisters. They were worried that the girls wouldn't have the same interests that they did and thought more brothers would mean more siblings like them. The boys did eventually warm up to the idea of having little sisters. There's something exciting about variety, and having 3 boys and 3 girls would mean the house would be perfectly balanced. Even though Nia and Robert were seasoned parents, it felt like being newbies all over again. They didn't know what to expect with girls, let alone triplets. At the same time, they were excited and up for the challenge. The fact that the parents of the 3 boys were now expecting triplet girls made their story all the more fascinating. Before they knew it, Nia and Robert were getting media attention. Their story was going viral and journalists took notice. Nia and Robert's story reached their local news station WUSA 9, and the entire family was featured on the show. The couple got to talk about their experience as parents and the shock of expecting triplets after twins. Having 1 child followed by 2 and then 3 is quite a unique story. For letting the news station tell their story, they were presented with 3 gift baskets for their triplet girls. The look of utter surprise and gratitude on the family's faces was priceless. Being on the local news was shocking enough, but then the couple got even more media attention. Their story was featured in an article by the Washington Post. Seeing their photo in the newspaper was groundbreaking for the young family. Things really took off when they were invited to fly to New York to be on the Today Show. The family got to vacation in the Big Apple and share their story with the nation. Nia's due date was on February 9th, but she knew from experience that early labor is more probable with multiples. Sure enough, Nia began undergoing contractions weeks before she was due to deliver. The contractions continued to grow stronger as the weeks went by, to the point that the couple finally decided to head to the hospital. They were expecting the doctor just to send them back home, especially since Nia's due date wasn't for another 10 days. When Nia and Robert arrived at the hospital, they were surprised to hear the doctor announce that they would be having the babies today. They performed a C-section on Nia, and the triplets were born on January 30th, 2018. Though all three babies look strikingly similar, only two of them, Zuri and Bailey, are identical. The fraternal triplet was named Mackenzie. Each one weighed between 4 and 4.6 pounds and was as healthy as can be. Nia was relieved to have her third pregnancy over with. She joked that she felt she was finally alone after the C-section. Carrying one baby and then two babies was challenge enough, but three was a whole new level of difficulty. She became known as the 123 mom as fans of their story continued to keep tabs on the family through social media. Though the Tolberts were now a much larger family than they'd expected they'd be, they were full of love and joy. Nia and Robert stressed the importance of having family and friends who help out as they raise their 6 children. They have no idea what they would do without the support they've received from loved ones. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a family. The parents have had to expect their mounting grocery bills and dwindling hours of sleep. Nia and Robert even started a Fundly account to raise more money for a new car. Those who've been following the Tolberts' story were overjoyed to see the photos of the triplets' first birthday. The girls all look healthy and happy as ever, and they're certainly surrounded by plenty of love. Feeding, housing, and caring for a family of 8 isn't a walk in the park, but Nia and Robert make it look effortless. Nia often shares her day-to-day with the kids on their family Facebook page, which is full of outdoor activities and errands. Shai, Riley, Alexander, Zuri, Bailey, and Mackenzie are all growing right before our eyes. Fans of the Tolberts have posed the question of whether or not they'll have any more kids. Though Nia and Robert don't plan on having any more children, experience has taught them that surprises are around every corner. Whether they stick with 6 children or turn up with quadruplets, we're confident they'll provide the most loving environment they can for their beautiful family.